Welcome all to the second Transnational Stakeholder Awareness Raising webinar of the Arctic Cluster project approved through the Arctic Cooperation Cross-Program Collaboration. Arctic Cluster involves three projects: SECURE, co-funded by Northern Periphery and Arctic Program; EEBAK, co-funded by Interreg Nord Program; and GRAPH, co-funded by Colarctic Cross-Border Cooperation Program. In the Arctic Cluster project, 15 partner regions from Europe, Canada, and Russian Federation are addressing similar themes and territorial challenges on energy efficiency and renewable solutions for buildings. During this second webinar, partners from SECURE and EEBAK projects will share some of their energy-related practices and ongoing and future activities. Partners that will participate in this second webinar are Martin Johnsen from Norut Northern Research Institute Narvik in Nordland County in Norway, Emma Norton from Ecology Action Centre in Nova Scotia, Canada, Olli Kuisma from Lapland University of Applied Science in Rovaniemi, Finland, and Dr. Caitriona from ERNACT, Donegal County, Ireland.
Hi everyone. My name is Martin Megård and I represent one of the project partners in the Interreg Nord project, Energy Efficiency Buildings in Arctic Climate, or EEBAK. I work for Norut Narvik, which is a research institute in northern Norway. Today I will present the Norwegian case studies for the EEBAK project, as well as some of our focus areas for the different case studies. EEBAK is an Interreg Nord project with the goal of increasing the energy efficiency, knowledge, and awareness of municipal building owners. The project partners include Norut Narvik, Luleå Technical University, and Lapland University of Applied Sciences. EEBAK is an Interreg Nord project with the goal of increasing the energy efficiency, knowledge, and awareness of municipal building owners. The project partners include Norut Narvik, Luleå Technical University, and Lapland University of Applied Sciences. We will try to identify the best available technology for energy efficient buildings in Arctic climate through literature, communication with building owners, and national case studies. The project focuses on both newer low-energy buildings and retrofitting of older buildings. On the picture, you can see the locations of our case studies in Norway, Finland, and Sweden. Norut Narvik have multiple case study buildings. The low-energy case study buildings include one concrete residential building, which focuses on evaluating the influence of high thermal mass on energy consumption, peak power, heating load, and indoor environment in the Arctic climate. We will use eye-to-eyes to model the building and compare to indoor measurements performed in a previous Interreg project. In addition, several low-energy timber frame residential buildings have been selected to evaluate the influence inhabitants' energy focus have on energy consumption in residential buildings. For the older building case studies, we've gotten access to the performance of an ongoing energy performance contract. The EPC includes 37 municipal buildings with a total of 170 implemented energy-saving measures. The implemented energy-saving measures include, but is not limited to, operating optimization, installing control systems, window replacements, installing heat pumps, automation systems, and energy-efficient lighting. As previously mentioned, the focus area for this project is to raise the energy efficiency awareness and knowledge of municipal building owners. We started the project by talking with the municipal building owners and mapping the barriers for implementing energy-saving measures. What we discovered was that the northern Norwegian municipal building stock is predominantly older and not particularly energy efficient. Building energy reduction is not a huge focus area for the building owners due to a backlog of maintenance on buildings, as well as relatively cheap heating electricity. Therefore, energy-saving measures must be profitable to be considered by most municipal building owners. Norut Narvik will therefore supply the municipalities with profitability analysis of different energy-saving measures and compare the theoretical results to the actual performance of our case study buildings. The results will include a generalized description of cost and energy savings for improving the building envelope through additional insulation, optimizing heating and ventilation schedules, improving the technical systems of buildings through types of heat pumps, PV panels, and ventilation systems improvements, and sharing of the knowledge and experiences gathered through working with an energy performance contract from a municipal point of view. The figure on this slide presents the actual performance of the different municipal case study buildings versus the projected calculated energy savings from the first year. The blue line shows the case study baseline, representing the projected annual energy savings. The actual energy savings is represented by the different colored dots. Dots above the line have exceeded the calculated performance, and dots below have not reached it. As you can see, most of the dots have not reached the promised annual energy savings. This is the results from the first year, and I would argue that the results are not yet representative of the actual performance, seeing that there have been some implementation troubles and some case studies which have changed their usage parameters or have increased their building areas. I'm looking forward to seeing this year's results, which I think will have an actual performance closer to the projected performance and will provide a better picture of the actual performance of different energy saving measures. Thank you. If you have any questions or you're interested in more detailed information about our work, please feel free to send me an email, and I will do my best to answer.
Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. My name is Emma Norton. I live in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, and I work at an environmental nonprofit called the Ecology Action Center, and we are participating in the SECURE project. And I today will be presenting about the community energy survey. We did this survey in late 2016, early 2017, and it's our baseline survey. So we will be doing this survey again, actually starting later this month, the end of November, and to see whether the community energy awareness in the communities that are participating in the SECURE project has improved. So we did two surveys. One of them was the community survey, and the second was a survey of staff within the participating partner organizations. And when we did the community survey, we had a total of 243 responses from the 6 different partner regions. The second time around will be including Sweden, so there'll be 7 different regions. We had a high number of respondents from County Donegal, so good job, Donegal. And the lowest amount of participants were from Nova Scotia, which is where I'm from, which looks bad, but we weren't actually trying to get any participants from Nova Scotia, so it's amazing that we got any at all. It's a little bit of breakdown of the demographics who responded. In County Donegal, about 50% of the respondents were female and 39% were male, but 11% decided not to disclose. In Leitrim, it was majority female that responded. In Derry City, Strabane, we had majority male, same in North Karelia and the Faroe Islands. And then in Nova Scotia, again, where we only had a few respondents, it was majority female. But that came out in the end to being almost half female, half male. And the age of respondents was predominantly over 36 and under 70. We had a few respondents that were between 21 and 35. And just 2 respondents that were under 20 and 7 respondents that were over 70. So I pulled a few questions that had interesting results to talk about today. We asked participants if they're aware of and tracking their home's monthly energy consumption, and the highest numbers came from Derry City, Strabane, and North Karelia. And you can see that occasionally in the Faroe Islands and Nova Scotia, people are tracking their energy consumption. So we understand that energy tracking is the important first step to understanding and managing energy consumption. I think many of us know that saying, you can't manage what you can't measure, which isn't always true, but it's true in this case. So we asked the question, and I'm not sure what the answer is, but it'd be interesting to know what is happening in North Karelia and dairy city that encourages the residents to track their energy consumption. Some other points of interest include that we had asked the survey respondents what they are most likely and least likely to do to save energy, and their responses for the things they are least likely to do are replacing old appliances with energy efficient ones and using blinds to control a room's temperature. So there is an opportunity to encourage residents to do more actions that are related to replacing old appliances or to learn how to use their curtains and blinds. In terms of replacing old appliances, you would probably have to start offering rebates on energy efficient appliances and help residents dispose of their old appliances, which is a program that exists in Nova Scotia. And I think to understand how you can use blinds to control a room's temperature, that would be more of an education program. 15% of the English-speaking respondents, we did this survey, and I believe 4 different languages. The English-speaking respondents said they don't know the most energy-efficient setting on the thermostat, so there is an educational opportunity there. And most respondents from the Faroe Islands and the English-speaking regions said that they did not agree that there's a culture of efficiency in their region. So there's an opportunity to start engaging more with the public, and the public are those who filled out this survey, about how they can start becoming more energy efficient. Other points of interest include that there was a strong resistance to wind turbines that are subsidized, privately owned, and poorly placed amongst the respondents. And there was also a general interest in insulating homes and receiving more support from grants and financial support from regional governments, Also, we noticed that if you were to rank the motivators for taking action to reduce energy consumption, the #1 motivator is financial savings, which is not that surprising. But it is surprising, from my perspective, that saving natural resources is a higher motivator than climate change, and setting a good example did not get a high ranking amongst reasons to take action to reduce energy consumption. We had suggestions at the end of an opportunity for respondents to make suggestions, and we had less than half of the respondents make suggestions, but those suggestions have been distributed to each of the partner regions based on where the respondent lived. We also asked that the respondents name a building or business that was an exemplar of energy efficiency in their communities. And from the SECURE project knowledge exchange, we know that each community does have a building or a business that they can be proud of. But less than 30% of the respondents could name an exemplar from their community. So we made an effort through the last 2 years of the project to highlight some of the examples of good energy efficiency examples from each of the communities. We then did a staff survey of the different partner organizations and the staff that worked within them, to ask them about their awareness of energy efficiency practices. Interestingly, 50% of the respondents strongly agreed that they try to save energy at home, but only half of those, or 25% of the respondents, agreed that they try to save energy at work. So there's definitely improvements that can be made in terms of trying to get staff to engage with the energy consumption at their place of work. Respondents were neutral in saying my colleagues also try to save energy at work, and they also were neutral in saying my employer encouraged us to save energy. So there is reason to believe that maybe employers can step up, or colleagues that are interested in energy efficiency can step up to set examples. So the staff were given several options and asked to rank them in terms of what would be the most beneficial way to encourage them, or most effective way to encourage them to reduce their energy consumption. And the number one way that you can encourage staff to reduce their energy consumption was to give clear instructions from the employer on what energy efficiency actions they were responsible for. So for example, your employer might tell you that you are responsible for turning out the lights in your office, or you are responsible for making sure that on cold days, the south-facing windows have sunlight coming through them. Often, in engaging in this work through the years, I have been told that you should offer a prize or recognition or another incentive to save energy, but the staff said that that ranked very low. So prizes and posters were not going to be nearly as effective as clear communication about how each employee can help reduce their energy consumption and what they are responsible for. Suggestions from the respondents for ways to reduce energy consumption. Some of them were out of control of the staff, like controls and sensors for lighting and relevant equipment, improving the building envelope to reduce heat loss. But there were some things that you can do internally through your HR or personnel. So you can have a team leader or coordinator for every department about energy efficiency. Someone can send reminder emails. Maybe there could be an awareness campaign. And then there were some different examples about infrastructure changes within the building, like ensuring the radiators are uninstructed, temperature control devices in every office, replacing hand towels with blade dryers, and showing the costs and measured values twice a year. So there could be a staff person responsible for that.
My name is Olli Kuisma, and I'm a project engineer in University of Applied Sciences in Rovaniemi, and which we now call Lapland University of Applied Sciences. And we are currently working in this EEBAK project, and we have these pilot buildings around the Lapland. We have one new building, which is a low energy pilot building, and it is in Kittilä, a small village in Nordic Lapland. And the pilot building is a work well-being center, and it has been built in 2014. Then we also have a log house in Pello. Pello is also a small village nearby Sweden. If you can see, it's here a very small point. And the older buildings are a school in Vuotso. So it's here, and another place is the administration building in Kemi, and another administration building is here in Rovaniemi. So what we have done, and what are these pilot buildings, and what we have done there is that the pilot buildings will be examined, and the older ones will be also energy out. And the different ways to improve energy efficiency are compared and simulated to find the best and most suitable options for each cases. Energy efficient recommendations will be produced to each pilot buildings based on energy simulation and best practices. And recommendations are used in buildings renovations to achieve the better energy efficiency. And also we have this thermal and humidity behavior of indoor air and it has been measured during 2018. And almost all measurements have been conducted, but the data has not been analyzed yet. User surveys, we have been supplied to pilot buildings to fill for the collected, but we haven't been analyzed yet also. The small town called Kittilä, we have this building called Wellevi, and it is an educational and work well-being center of Rovaniemi Municipal Federation of Education, and it has been completed in 2014, and it has been built by students from Lapland Vocational School. The energy production by geothermal heating and solar panels, so we have those systems there, and the area is 800 square meter, and its location is nearby Levi Center, and the most of the use is in seasonal usages. Sorry, my English is not so good. And various different wall structures used for comparison. And here is a small picture about the Wellevi building, and what we have done in EEBAK is the U-value measurements and heat and humidity behavior of wall structures and CFD simulations. Measurements and analysis have been done in this EEBAK, and monitoring of thermal and humidity behavior during winter and summer periods. And measurements and analysis to do in EEBAK. We are now processing the data which we have collected and measured. Then we have this log house in Pello. It's a single family house, and it has been built 2013, and it has been constructed with laminated log, and the energy produced comes from pellet boiler. The heat consumption is 46 megawatts hour per year, and the electricity consumption is 8 megawatt hour per year. Then what we have done there in Pello, we have done the indoor air quality and air leaking rates, and now what we have done in EEBAK, we have measured the thermal heating and humidity behavior during winter and summer periods. And now we have just processed the measured data. Then we have this small school in Vuotso, nearby Sodankylä, and it is primary school and kindergarten, and it has been built in 1980. And there is oil heating, and the area is 1,155 square meter. And there is a high energy consumption. Heat is almost 390 megawatt hour per year, and the electricity is 90 megawatt hour per year. So what we have done in EEBAK, in this case, we have studied regarding bioenergy possibilities to replace the oil, and the measurements and data analysis which have been done is monitoring the thermal and humidity behavior during summer period, and measurements from winter period failed due to unreliable measurement systems. And what we have now to do in this case, we have to do the winter period measurements, the heating and the moisture there, and then processing the measured data, and finally do the energy simulations with different energy efficiency improvements. Here in Rovaniemi we have this administration building, which is an administration building of Lapland Hospital District. The area is 3,346 square meter, and it has been built 1975. Mainly the use is in office spaces, and there has been renovation and additions in 1989. But now there was a energy efficiency improvements during the 2017 and 2018, and they put there more added insulations, new windows, new balcony doors, eliminating air leaks in structure joints and tackling on cold bridges. This building has been thermally imaged before energy efficiency improvements 2011, and they analyzed the impact of energy efficiency measures. The building was thermally imaged again. Thermal images were shot from same locations to maximize comparability, and the indoor climate comfort was improved clearly, mainly by eliminating air leaks and improving structural energy efficiency of windows and balcony. Energy consumptions will be analyzed when data is available. So, thank you, and this was my part of the presentation, and I hope that if you have something to ask, you can ask me or give me an email.
Hi, hello, my name is Caitriona Strain, and I'm the project manager for the SECURE project. I'm based in ERNACT, and we're also the lead partner of the SECURE project. So the SECURE project aims to foster energy secure communities through the promotion of energy efficiency and renewable energy solutions. We will do this by transferring and implementing innovative energy solutions for housing and public infrastructures in 7 regions across the Northern and Arctic programme area. All the partners are studying the effective technologies and good practice approaches that promote the increased use of energy efficiency and renewable energy solutions. And we have achieved a number of outputs to date through the running of this project. So we've established 5 smarter energy communities in 5 of the implementing regions. These are Derry City and Strabane District Council, Donegal County Council, Västernorrland, in the Faroe Islands, and in Leitrim County Council. These 5 regions have established a smart energy community in a rural area within the region. A programme of activities has been completed in these communities to engage and empower citizens to become energy leaders. And this programme also seeks to build up local authority expertise. So some of the activities that we've carried out include a number of community focus group meetings where we involved citizens. Stakeholder groups were set up in all these regions, and they met regularly in order to provide input into the awareness raising programme and the pilots that were implemented in those regions. A baseline survey was carried out at the start which Emma has already commented on. And we are now going to follow this up with a final survey whereby we can measure the achievements of establishing these smarter energy communities. We also held a series of seminars throughout the project where citizen groups were involved, and all of these 5 regions carried out awareness raising campaign which they targeted at local communities and using social media, public authority networks and local media such as radio and newspapers. 15 energy solutions have been applied within these 5 communities, and these include a series pilots such as low energy lighting and replacing old lights with LED and more intelligent lighting systems, installing intelligent sensors and different heating controls within public buildings to improve their energy efficiency, using battery storage to store excess energy that can be reused within different buildings and housing, and other things such as solar PV on buildings. And the aim is to increase energy efficiency by at least 5% in 3 public buildings. And this has occurred through transferring and implementing measures such as I already explained, the different pilots which increase energy efficiency within these buildings. And now in the last 6 months of the project, we are currently measuring those achievements in order to see if we have met this. And the preliminary results at the minute are showing that we have more than achieved these figures. Another output was to install alternative energy sources in 3 public infrastructures, and this has also, at the moment we are documenting this, there's been a number of alternative energy sources installed in public infrastructure, so we are on target to meet this achievement as well. Before I finish, another activity that we carried out was to collate a series of good practices in all the regions, and we documented this within an inventory which we shared between the regions, and this helped to increase the knowledge of the partners in the project. They were also able to share these good practices with their citizens and were used in the Smarter Energies community campaign to increase citizen awareness. We also conducted an energy baseline study in each region at the beginning, and we are now currently collating final figures from each region in order to measure the achievements in that as well. A number of the regions also transferred some of the good practices into their own regions, and this was done with the help of the partners from the other regions as well. So at the moment we're measuring the progress and the achievements that have been made in that as well. You can find out more information about the project at this link that we have provided. Thank you for listening.
Thank you all for your attention, and if you wish to learn more about the Arctic Cluster project, please don't hesitate to contact us through the project website or social media platforms.